The vast expanse of space stretched out before Captain Aria Chen as she gazed through the view screen of the Earth Coalition starship Horizon. The ship's mission was simple: explore the uncharted regions of the Orion Arm, seeking potential colony worlds and new resources for humanity's ever-expanding reach into the cosmos. But as Aria was about to discover, the universe had other plans. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous reading," Lieutenant Ravi Patel called out from his station at the sensor array. His dark eyes widened as he studied the incoming data. "It's like nothing we've ever encountered before." Aria's interest peaked. After months of routine scans and uninhabited planets, this could be the breakthrough they've been hoping for. "On screen, Lieutenant. Let's see what we're dealing with." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Colors shifted and pulsed, creating patterns that mesmerized the entire bridge crew. At the center of the anomaly, a sleek vessel of unknown design hung motionless. "Is that a ship?" Aria breathed, leaning forward in her chair. "Alien." Before anyone could respond, the strange craft suddenly lurched, as if caught in an invisible current. It spun wildly, trailing wisps of energy as it was pulled towards the edge of the vortex. "They're in trouble," Aria realized, her training kicking in. "Helm, bring us closer. Ensign Foster, ready the tractor beam." "Captain," her first officer, Commander Jack Harper, cautioned. "We don't know anything about that anomaly or that ship. This could be a first contact situation. Are you sure we want to risk?" Aria cut him off with a sharp look. "There are lives at stake, Commander. We can worry about protocols later." As the Horizon maneuvered closer, the alien vessel's distress became more apparent. Its hull crackled with energy discharges, and Aria could see through momentary gaps in the ship's flickering force field that parts of it were already breaking apart. "Tractor beam engaged," Foster called out. The Horizon shuddered as it fought against the pull of the vortex, straining to drag the alien ship to safety. For a moment, it seemed as if both vessels would be consumed by the swirling maelstrom. "Divert all non-essential power to the engines and tractor beam," Aria ordered, her knuckles white as she gripped the arms of her chair. The ship's lighting dimmed, and a low groan echoed through the hull as the Horizon gave everything it had. Slowly, agonizingly, both ships began to pull away from the vortex's grasp. With a final surge of power, they broke free. The alien vessel, now dark and seemingly lifeless, hung in space before them. "Life signs?" Aria asked, catching her breath. Ravi's fingers flew over his console. Faint, but present, their life support systems appeared to be failing. Aria stood, straightening her uniform. "Prepare a boarding party. From environmental suits and universal translators. I'll lead the team myself." "Captain," Harper protested, "the risks." "Are mine to take, Commander," Aria finished for him. "You have the bridge. If anything goes wrong, get our people and this ship out of here." Minutes later, Aria led a small team through the airlock and onto the alien vessel. The interior was unlike anything they had ever seen, with organic-looking corridors that seemed to pulse with a faint bioluminescence. "Stay alert," Aria cautioned her team as they moved deeper into the ship. "We don't know what we're dealing with here." They found the first alien body in what appeared to be the ship's control center. The creature was humanoid, but clearly not human. Its skin was a pale lavender, with delicate, almost translucent features. It lay motionless, its large, silvery eyes staring sightlessly at the ceiling. "Over here," called out Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the team's phenobiologist. "This one's still alive." Aria rushed over to where Yuki knelt beside another alien. This one's chest rose and fell with shallow breaths, a viscous purple fluid seeping from a wound on its side. "We need to get it to our med bay," Yuki said urgently. "I don't know how much longer it can survive in these conditions." Aria nodded, tapping her comm badge. "Chen to Horizon, we have a survivor in critical condition. Prepare for emergency transport directly to medbay." As the alien dematerialized in a shimmer of light, Aria couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter would change everything. Humanity had long wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer, and a responsibility that came with it. Back on the horizon, Aria watched through the medbay's observation window as Dr. Tanaka and her team worked feverishly to save the alien's life. The creature's biology was unlike anything they had ever encountered, forcing the medical team to improvise treatments on the fly. "How's our guest doing, Doctor?" Aria asked as Yuki stepped out of the operating area, pulling off her gloves. "Stable, for now," Yuki replied, her face etched with a mixture of exhaustion and excitement. "Its physiology is fascinating, Captain. The cellular structure, the organ systems, it's so advanced, yet so vulnerable." Aria nodded, her gaze fixed on the alien's still form. Any idea when it might regain consciousness? "Hard to say," Yuki admitted. "Could be hours, could be days. We're in uncharted territory here." As if on cue, the alien's eyes fluttered open. Its gaze darted around the room, panic evident in its expression. It tried to sit up, only to be gently restrained by the medical equipment. "Easy there," Aria said soothingly, stepping closer to the bed. "You're safe. We're here to help." The alien's silvery eyes locked onto Aria, and a melodic voice echoed in her mind. "Who? What are you?" Aria blinked in surprise. Telepathy. She hadn't expected that. Gathering her thoughts, she projected as clearly as she could. "I'm Captain Aria Chen of the Earth Coalition Starship Horizon. We rescued you from a spatial anomaly. Can you understand me?" The alien's features relaxed slightly. "Yes, I am Zara, emissary of the Lysian Conclave. Your assistance is unexpected." "Why is that?" Aria asked, curious. Zara's mental voice carried a note of sadness. "Our records indicated that your species, humans, were violent, unpredictable, a threat to be avoided. Yet you risked yourselves to save me." Aria felt a pang of disappointment at the alien's words, but she pushed it aside. "We've made mistakes in our past, it's true, but we're trying to be better, to explore, to learn, to help where we can." Zara was silent for a moment, studying Aria intently. Perhaps the alien finally responded, "Our records need updating." As Aria smiled, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Commander Harper's voice came over the comm system. "Captain to the bridge. We've got company, and they don't look friendly." Aria's heart raced as she sprinted towards the bridge. First contact, a daring rescue, and now a potential battle, all in the span of a few hours. Whatever came next, she knew that humanity's place in the galaxy would never be the same. Captain Aria Chen burst onto the bridge of the horizon, her mind racing with the implications of that alien encounter and the new threat looming before them. "Report," she barked, settling into her command chair. Commander Jack Harper's fingers danced across his console. "3 ships just dropped out of FTL, Captain. Design matches the vessel we rescued, but much larger. They're charging weapons." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing 3 sleek, bio-organic ships that dwarfed the horizon. Their hulls pulsed with an eerie violet light. "Open a channel," Aria ordered, straightening in her seat. Before she could speak, a booming voice filled the bridge. "Human vessel, you had illegally detained a citizen of the Lysian Conclave. Surrender immediately or face annihilation." Aria's jaw tightened. "This is Captain Aria Chen of the Earth Coalition Starship Horizon. We rescued your citizen from a spatial anomaly. They're recovering in our med bay. We mean you no harm." A tense silence followed. Aria could feel the eyes of her crew upon her, their fear palpable in the air. "Your deception will not save you, human," the voice responded. "Prepare to be boarded. Any resistance will be met with lethal force." The communication cut off abruptly. Aria turned to her tactical officer. "Shields up. Arm phasers, but do not fire unless I give the order." "Captain," Harper interjected, "we're outgunned. Maybe if we turn over the alien." Not an option, Commander, Arya cut him off. We didn't come all this way to abandon our principles at the first sign of trouble. As if on cue, Dr. Tanaka's voice came over the comm. Captain, our patient is awake and demanding to speak with you. It's urgent. Arya hesitated, torn between her duty to the bridge and the potential insight that alien guest might provide. On my way. Harper, you have the con. Hold them off as long as you can. She sprinted to the med bay, her mind racing with possibilities. As she entered, she found Zara struggling to sit up, silvery eyes wide with urgency. Captain, Zara's mental voice was strained. You must let me speak to them. This is all a misunderstanding. Arya helped Zara to a sitting position. A misunderstanding that's about to get us all killed. What's really going on here? Zara's delicate features contorted with what Arya interpreted as shame. The anomaly, it wasn't an accident. I was fleeing my own people. The Conclave, they're not what they once were. Arya's surprise must have shown on her face because Zara continued hurriedly. Our society has become rigid, fearful of outsiders. I sought to change that, to forge connections with other species, but I was branded a traitor. The ship shuddered as it took a glancing hit from Elysian vessels. Arya steadied herself against a bulkhead. And now the hit has silenced you. Yes, Zara confirmed, but if I can speak to them, explain what I've learned about your people, perhaps there's hope for understanding. Arya nodded, her decision made. All right, let's give it a shot. She tapped her comm badge. Chen to bridge. Patch me through to the Elysian ships. Moments later, she was facing a stern-looking Elysian on the med bay's view screen. His lavender skin was darker than Zara's, marked with intricate patterns that Arya assumed denoted rank. I am Executive Ven of the Elysian Conclave, the alien stated. Surrender our citizen and prepare to be boarded. Arya stepped aside, revealing Zara. Your citizen is here, Executor, and they have something to say. Ven's eyes widened in surprise. Emissary Zara, you live? Zara's mental voice rang out clear and strong. I do, Executor. Thanks to these humans. They risked their lives to save mine, despite knowing nothing about me. They've shown compassion, curiosity, and bravery, all qualities we once valued above all else. Ven's expression hardened. You were banished for a reason, emissary. Your idealism blinds you to the dangers of the universe. Does it? Zara challenged. Or has our fear blinded us to potential allies? I've seen the minds of these humans, Executor. They are not the savages our records painted them to be. They are a young species, yes, but one with great potential. The ship rocked again as another blast struck their shields. Arya stepped forward. Executive Ven, we have no quarrel with your people, but we will defend ourselves if necessary. Surely there's a peaceful solution here. Ven's gaze shifted between Arya and Zara, indecision clear in his alien features. Finally, he spoke. Perhaps we have been hasty. Emissary Zara, you truly believe these humans to be worthy of discourse? I stake my life on it, Zara replied without hesitation. A tense moment passed before Ven nodded. Very well. We will stand down for now. Captain Chen, we request permission to send a delegation to your vessel to discuss terms. Arya let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. Permission granted, Executor. We'll prepare to receive you. As the view screen went dark, Arya turned to Zara. Thank you. You may have just saved all our lives. Zara's mental voice carried a mix of relief and determination. This is only the beginning, Captain. There is much our peoples can learn from each other, if we're brave enough to try. Arya nodded, her mind already racing with the implications of this encounter. First contact had been made, a conflict narrowly averted, but the real challenges and opportunities lay ahead. As she helped Zara back to the biobed, Arya couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something monumental. Humanity had taken its first real steps into a larger galaxy, and she was determined to ensure they were steps in the right direction. Rest now, she told Zara. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. With a final nod to Dr. Tanaka, Aria strode out of the med bay. She had a delegation to prepare for, a crew to reassure, and a report to compose that would change the course of human history forever. As the door slid shut behind her, Aria allowed herself a small smile. This, she thought, was why she had joined Starfleet. To explore, to connect, to push the boundaries of what was possible. And now, thanks to an unlikely alliance born of compassion and curiosity, humanity's horizons had expanded beyond their wildest dreams. The real journey, Aria knew, was just beginning. The conference room of the Horizon hummed with tension as Captain Aria Chen faced the Lysian delegation. Executive Ven sat across from her, his violet skin shimmering under the ship's lights. Zara, still weak but determined, sat between them, a living bridge between two vastly different species. Let me be clear, Captain, Ven's telepathic voice resonated in Aria's mind. While we appreciate your assistance to emissary Zara, the conclave remains skeptical of humanity's place in galactic affairs. Aria leaned forward, her dark eyes intense. I understand your caution, Executor, but I hope our actions have shown that humanity is ready for greater responsibility in the cosmic community. Zara interjected, her mental voice gentle but firm. Perhaps a demonstration is in order. Executor, the humans have technology that could greatly benefit our people, and we possess knowledge that could aid their exploration of the galaxy. Ven's expression remained impassive, but Aria sensed a flicker of interest. What do you propose, emissary? A joint mission, Zara suggested, to the nexus of echoes. The effect on Ven was immediate. He recoiled slightly, his eyes widening. The nexus is forbidden, too dangerous, too unpredictable. Aria's curiosity piqued. What's the nexus of echoes? Zara turned to her, excitement evident in her telepathic tone. A spatial phenomenon unlike any other. A convergence of temporal and dimensional energies. It's said that echoes of past and future events can be glimpsed there. And it's dangerous? Aria asked, already feeling the familiar thrill of exploration. Extremely, Ven answered. Many ships have been lost attempting to study it. The conclave declared it off-limits centuries ago. Aria considered this for a moment. But if we could navigate it safely, the scientific benefits could be immense. For both our peoples. Zara nodded enthusiastically. Precisely. The humans' innovative approach to technology, combined with our long-range sensors and dimensional shielding, we might succeed where others have failed. Ven still looked unconvinced. And if we refuse this foolhardy mission? Then we go our separate ways, Aria said firmly. But you'll have missed an opportunity to truly understand humanity and to potentially unlock secrets of the universe. A long moment of silence followed as Ven deliberated. Finally, he gave a slight nod. Very well. We will embark on this mission together. But know this, Captain Chen, if you betray our trust, the consequences will be severe. Aria stood, extending her hand. Understood, Executor. Let's make history together. As Ven stared at her outstretched hand in confusion, Zara gently explained the human custom of handshakes. With obvious reluctance, Ven completed the gesture. The next few days were a flurry of activity as the Horizon and the Lysian flagship, the Stellar Harmony, prepared for their joint mission. Engineers from both ships worked tirelessly to integrate their technologies, while scientists pored over data about the nexus of echoes. Aria found herself working closely with Zara, whose insights into Lysian culture proved invaluable. As they pored over star charts late one night, Aria couldn't help but marvel at how quickly things had changed. A week ago, I never imagined I'd be planning a mission with an alien species, she mused. Zara's mental voice carried a hint of amusement, and I never thought I'd find humans so intriguing. Your adaptability is remarkable, Aria. We've had to be adaptable, Aria replied. Our history is filled with challenges that forced us to innovate or perish. Perhaps that's what the Conclave fears, Zara suggested, your potential for rapid growth and change. Before Arya could respond, the ship's comm system chirped. "Captain," Lieutenant Patel's voice came through. "We're picking up some strange readings from the Nexus. You might want to see this." Arya and Zara rushed to the bridge, where a swirling mass of energy filled the view screen. Colors shifted and pulsed in patterns that defied description. "It's beautiful," Arya breathed. "And deadly," Zara cautioned. "The Nexus is known to create illusions, to lure ships to their doom." Executive Ven's face appeared on a secondary screen. "Captain Chen, are you certain you wish to proceed? There's no shame in retreating in the face of such danger." Arya straightened, her resolve firm. "We've come too far to turn back now, Executor. Helm, take us in, nice and easy. Stellar harmony, match our course and speed." As the two ships edged closer to the Nexus, the energy patterns grew more intense. Strange echoes began to filter through the comm systems, fragments of conversations, some in languages the universal translators couldn't decipher. Suddenly, the horizon shuddered violently. "Gravitational shear," Plato called out. "It's pulling us in." "Full reverse thrusters," Arya ordered, gripping her chair as the ship bucked and heaved. "Our shields are failing," Zara reported, monitoring the Lysian systems. "The Nexus is draining our power." For a moment, panic threatened to overwhelm Arya. Then, a crazy idea struck her. "Wait, what if we're fighting this the wrong way? Helm, cut engines. Let the Nexus pull us in." "Captain," Harper's voice was incredulous. "Trust me," Arya said, hoping she sounded more confident than she felt. "Sometimes you have to go with the flow to navigate treacherous waters." As the Horizon's engines fell silent, the violent shaking subsided. The ship glided into the Nexus, surrounded by swirling energies. "Remarkable," Zara's mental voice was filled with awe. "The stellar harmony is following your lead. With a sable." The view screen flickered, showing impossible vistas, alien worlds, space battles, events that might have been past or future. Arya felt a moment of vertigo as she realized they were seeing glimpses of alternate timelines, paths not taken. "Begin recording everything," she ordered. "This data could revolutionize our understanding of space-time." For hours, the two ships drifted through the Nexus, their crews working feverishly to analyze the phenomena around them. Arya found herself in constant communication with Ven, coordinating their efforts and sharing discoveries. As they neared the center of the Nexus, a blinding flash filled the bridge. When Arya's vision cleared, she gasped. Before them floated a massive structure, clearly artificial, but of no design she recognized. "The beacon of the ancients," Zara whispered in awe. "It's real. The legends were true." Ven's face appeared on the screen, his usual stoic demeanor replaced by shock. "Captain Chen, are you seeing this?" Arya nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "I think, Executor, we've just made the discovery of a lifetime. Together." As the Horizon and the stellar harmony approached the ancient structure, Arya felt a profound sense of destiny. Whatever secrets this beacon held, whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that this unlikely alliance of humans and Lysians would face them united. The journey through the stars had led them to this moment, this impossible convergence of past and future, and Arya Chen, captain of the Horizon, knew that the real adventure was just beginning. The beacon of the ancients loomed before the Horizon and the stellar harmony, its crystalline structure pulsing with an inner light that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Captain Arya Chen stood on the bridge of her ship, her eyes wide with wonder and anticipation. "Any luck deciphering those signals, Lieutenant Patel?" she asked, her voice hushed in the face of this monumental discovery. Ravi shook his head, frustration evident in his furrowed brow. "Not yet, Captain. The data patterns are unlike anything in our databases. It's as if the beacon is speaking in the language of the universe itself." "Perhaps that's not far from the truth," Zara's mental voice chimed in. The Lysian emissary had become a fixture on the Horizon's bridge, her insights invaluable in navigating this uncharted territory. Lysing legends speak of the ancients as beings who had transcended physical form, becoming one with the cosmic tapestry. Executor Ven's face appeared on the view screen, his usually stoic features animated with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Captain Chen, our sensors are detecting a massive energy buildup within the beacon. I strongly advise we withdraw to a safe distance. Arya was about to agree when a sudden realization struck her. Wait, Ravi, cross-reference the beacon's energy signature with the anomaly we encountered when we first met Zara. A moment passed as Ravi's fingers flew over his console. His eyes widened. It's a match, Captain. The anomaly was. It was a miniature version of the beacon. Impossible. Ven's mental voice was thick with disbelief. The nexus of echoes has been stable for millennia. For it to suddenly generate a new anomaly. Unless it was responding to something, Arya mused. She turned to Zara. You said you were fleeing your people when we found you. What exactly were you running from? Zara's silvery eyes clouded with shame. The Conclave had discovered an artifact of the ancients. They believed it could be used to reshape reality itself, to erase the perceived threats to our civilization. A chill ran down Arya's spine. Erase, you mean? To remove other sentient species from existence, Zara confirmed. I couldn't stand by and let it happen, so I stole the artifact and fled. Ven's mental voice roared through their minds. Traitor, you would doom our people to preserve aliens. Executor, please, Arya interjected, her mind racing. If what Zara's saying is true, then the artifact, the anomaly, this beacon, they're all connected. The ancients must have built safeguards into the fabric of space-time itself. Before anyone could respond, the beacon pulsed with blinding intensity. A wave of energy washed over both ships, and suddenly, the starfield around them changed. The nexus of echoes was gone, replaced by an unfamiliar star system. Report. Arya barked, gripping her chair as the horizon stabilized. We've been transported, Harper announced, his voice filled with awe. According to stellar cartography, we're over 100,000 light-years from our previous position. The beacon has activated, Zara whispered. It's calling to us. Arya was about to request more information when alarms blared across the bridge. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, Ravi shouted. Lysine's signatures. It's the rest of the Conclave fleet. A new face appeared on the view screen, a Lysine with deep purple skin and eyes that burned with zealous fervor. I am High Arbiter Kel of the Lysine Conclave. Executor Ven, you have failed in your duty. The humans and the traitor Zara must be eliminated. The artifact must be ours. Ven's mental voice was conflicted. High Arbiter, please. There's so much we don't understand. The beacon, the artifact, they're all part of something greater. We can't risk. Enough. Kel's psychic shout was painful in its intensity. You've been corrupted by these humans, then. Stand down, or be destroyed with them. The view screen went dark, replaced by the image of a dozen Lysine warships bearing down on their position. Arya's mind raced, evaluating their options. The Horizon and the Stellar Harmony were outgunned and in unknown territory. Zara, Arya said urgently, the artifact you stole. Do you still have it? Zara nodded, producing a small glowing cube from a hidden compartment in her suit. I do, but I don't know how to use it. The risk. The risk of doing nothing is greater, Arya insisted. She turned to her crew. All hands, battle stations. Ravi, work with Zara. See if you can interface the artifact with our systems. It might be our only chance. As the Horizon's shields hummed to life, Arya opened a channel to the Stellar Harmony. Executor Ven, I know you have no reason to trust us, but right now, we're all that stands between your people and a terrible mistake. Will you stand with us? A tense moment passed before Ven's reply came. Against my better judgment, Captain, yes. The Conclave has lost its way. Perhaps it's time for a new path. The space around them lit up with weapons fire as the Conclave fleet opened its assault. The horizon and stellar harmony weaved through the barrage, their smaller size allowing for greater maneuverability. Evasive pattern Delta, Area ordered. Return fire, but aim to disable, not destroy. They're misguided, not evil. As the battle raged, Ravi and Zara worked feverishly to unlock the secrets of the artifact. The beacon pulsed in sync with the cue, as if urging them on. Captain, Zara's mental voice was urgent. We've done it. The artifact, it's not a weapon. It's a key. A key to what? Arya asked, steadying herself as the ship rocked from a near miss. To our future, Zara replied. The ancients, they didn't erase threats. They uplifted them. This whole system, it's a forge for new worlds. New homes for species on the brink of self-destruction. Understanding dawned on Arya. The beacon brought us here to give us a chance. To prove we're worthy of survival, she keyed the shipwide comm. All hands, this is the captain. What we do in the next few moments will determine not just our fate, but the fate of countless future generations. Let's show the universe what humanity is truly capable of. With renewed determination, the horizon and stellar harmony fought on, not just for survival, but for a future brighter than any they had imagined. As the artifact's power interfaced with their ships, new possibilities unfolded before them. In the heart of an unknown galaxy, surrounded by the legacy of an ancient and benevolent race, humans and Lycians alike found themselves fighting for a new home, and for the very soul of their civilizations. The battle for a new home had begun, and with it, the next chapter in the cosmic story of life itself. The aftermath of the battle hung in the air like a heavy fog. The horizon and stellar harmony, battered but unbroken, drifted in the shadow of the ancient beacon. Around them, the disabled ships of the Lycian fleet floated silently, their crews coming to terms with the monumental shift in their understanding of the universe. Captain Arya Chen stood in the Horizon's conference room, surrounded by an unprecedented gathering. Executive Ven and several Lycian commanders sat across from her, their violet skin shimmering under the ship's lights. Zara, still clutching the artifact, sat at Arya's right hand, a living bridge between two species on the brink of a new era. High Arbiter Kale, now a prisoner, glowered from the corner, flanked by security officers from both ships. Let me see if I understand this correctly, Ven began, his mental voice tinged with awe and lingering disbelief. The ancients created this sanctuary to preserve species on the brink of self-destruction. Zara nodded, her silvery eyes bright with excitement. Not just preserve, Executor. To elevate. The beacon, the artifact, this entire star system, it's all designed to help us transcend our limitations, to become something more. Arya leaned forward, her dark eyes intense. But it's not automatic, is it? The beacon brought us here, showed us the possibility, but it's up to us to seize it. Precisely, Zara confirmed. The ancients believed that true growth could only come from within. They provide the tools, but we must choose to use them wisely. One of the Lycian commanders, his skin a deeper shade of purple, spoke up. His mental voice was hesitant, almost childlike in its wonder. But how? Our people have been set in our ways for millennia. How can we possibly change? A small smile played at the corners of Arya's lips. That, Commander, is where cultural exchange comes in. We learn from each other. We challenge our preconceptions. We grow together. Kel's bitter laugh cut through the room. Naive fools. Our civilization has stood for eons. We need no lessons from primitive apes who've barely left their own solar system. Perhaps that's exactly why you need us, Arya countered, her voice firm but not unkind. We bring fresh perspectives, untainted by millennia of rigid thinking, and in return, we gain access to knowledge and technologies beyond our wildest dreams. It's a symbiosis, arbiter, a chance for both our peoples to evolve. A thoughtful silence fell over the room. Ven's gaze swept over his fellow Lycians before settling on Arya. You speak with wisdom beyond your years, Captain. Perhaps it is time for the conclave to embrace change. Over the next few weeks, an extraordinary experiment in interspecies cooperation unfolded. The crews of the Horizon and the Lycene ships mingled, sharing knowledge, customs, and technologies. The star system that Beacon had brought them to became a living laboratory for cultural exchange. Arya found herself constantly amazed by the depths of Lycene knowledge. Their understanding of quantum mechanics and dimensional physics made Earth's most advanced theories seem like a child's finger paintings. Yet, the Lycenes were equally fascinated by humanity's adaptability, their ability to think outside established paradigms. One evening, as Arya and Zora walked through a holographic projection of one of the system's habitable planets, the Lycene emissary's mental voice was filled with wonder. "I never imagined such rapid progress was possible. Your people's enthusiasm is infectious." Arya chuckled. "We've dreamed of this moment for centuries, contact with an advanced alien civilization, the chance to learn, to grow, to see the universe through new eyes. It's intoxicating." "And yet," Zora mused, "it is your very primitive nature that makes this exchange so valuable. Your people question everything, challenge established norms. It's refreshing." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Lieutenant Patel, his eyes shining with excitement. "Captain, Emissary Zara, you need to see this." They followed Ravi to one of the makeshift labs that had been set up to study the artifact. A team of human and Lycene scientists huddled around a holographic display, murmuring in a mix of spoken and telepathic exchanges. "We've cracked another layer of the artifact's programming," Ravi explained. "It's not just a key to this system. It's a map." The hologram expanded, showing a vast network of interconnected star systems, each pulsing with the same energy signature as the beacon. "The ancient network," Zara breathed. "It's far more extensive than we ever imagined." Arya's mind raced with the implications. A network of sanctuary systems spread across the galaxy, each one waiting for species ready to take the next step in their evolution. One of the Lycene scientists, her skin a pale lavender, spoke up. "But evolution to what? What did the ancients envision as the ultimate destiny for sentient life?" Before anyone could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Unidentified vessels dropping out of FTL. Harper's voice came over the comm. "There, Captain, you need to see this." Arya and Zara rushed to the bridge, arriving just in time to see the viewscreen fill with an awe-inspiring sight. A fleet of ships unlike anything they had ever seen hung in space before them. Their hulls seemed to shimmer and shift, as if not fully anchored in normal space-time. "It can't be." Ven's mental voice was barely a whisper as he joined them on the bridge. The ancients themselves. A beam of pure energy lanced out from the lead ship, engulfing both the Horizon and the Lycene vessels. But instead of destruction, Arya felt a sense of profound peace wash over her. In her mind's eye, she saw visions of unimaginable beauty. Civilizations rising and falling, stars being born and dying, the very fabric of the universe unfolding before her. When the light faded, a single figure stood on the Horizon's bridge. It was humanoid in shape, but composed of swirling energy patterns that hurt to look at directly. "Children of the younger races," the being spoke, its voice resonating in their minds and hearts simultaneously. "You have taken the first steps on a grand journey. The path ahead is long, filled with challenges and wonders in equal measure, but you need not walk it alone." Arya stepped forward, her voice filled with awe and determination. "We're ready. To learn, to grow, to become more than we are." The ancient's form seemed to smile, though it had no discernible face. "Then let the true exchange begin. For in understanding each other, you will come to understand the very cosmos itself." As the ancient began to share knowledge beyond their wildest imaginings, Arya felt a profound sense of destiny. The cultural exchange they had begun was just the first step on a cosmic journey that would reshape not just their civilizations, but the very nature of existence itself. In that moment, surrounded by humans and Lycenes alike, all equally humbled and exalted by the presence of the ancients, Arya knew that the greatest adventure in the history of both their species was only just beginning. The gentle hum of the Horizon's engines filled the observation deck as Captain Arya Chen gazed out at the star-studded expanse before her. The events of the past few months felt like a dream, yet the evidence of their cosmic journeys surrounded her. The Horizon, once a lone explorer of Earth's sector, now flew in formation with a fleet of ships, both human and Lycian. Their hulls gleamed with upgrades born from the fusion of two technological paradigms, a physical manifestation of the union between their species. Arya's reflection in the window caught her eye. She looked different, not just older or wiser, but fundamentally changed. The knowledge imparted by the ancients had left its mark on all of them, reshaping their understanding of the universe and their place within it. A familiar mental touch brushed against her consciousness. Deep thoughts, Captain. Arya turned to see Zara approaching, the Lycian's form shimmering slightly, a side effect of their ongoing transformation. Just reflecting on how far we've come, Arya replied with a smile. And how far we have yet to go. Zara nodded, her silvery eyes filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The ancient's gift is overwhelming at times. To think we stand at the precipice of becoming like them, beings of pure energy and thought. It's a lot to process, Arya agreed. I joined Starfleet to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations. I never imagined we'd be on the verge of becoming a new form of life ourselves. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Executor, now Ambassador Ven. The once rigid Lycian leader had undergone perhaps the most dramatic transformation of all, his earlier skepticism replaced by an almost childlike wonder at the universe. The human and Lycian councils have reached a decision, Ven announced, his mental voice tinged with anticipation. They're ready to proceed with the next phase of our evolution. But they want to hear from you first, Captain Chen. Arya raised an eyebrow. Me? Why? Because you were the catalyst, Zara explained. Your compassion, your willingness to trust despite the risks, it set all of this in motion. The councils believe your perspective is crucial as we take this final step. A wave of emotion washed over Arya, pride, humility, and a touch of fear. I'm not sure I'm qualified to advise on something of this magnitude. Ven's mental chuckle was warm. None of us are, Captain. That's rather the point, isn't it? We're stepping into the unknown together. Minutes later, Arya found herself addressing a joint session of human and Lycian leaders, their faces displayed on screens throughout the Horizon's conference room. The weight of history pressed down upon her as she gathered her thoughts. Distinguished representatives of Earth and the Lycian conclave, she began, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. We stand at a crossroads unlike any our species have ever faced. The ancients have offered us a path to transcendence, to become beings of pure energy and thought, unfettered by physical limitations. She paused, looking around the room at her crew, at Zara and Ven. It's an incredible gift, and the potential benefits are beyond imagination. But it also means leaving behind much of what defines us. Our bodies, our traditional ways of life, perhaps even aspects of our very identities. Murmurs, both audible and telepathic, rippled through the assembled leaders. Arya continued, I've spent my life exploring the stars, seeking out new life and new civilizations. And what I've learned is this. True growth doesn't come from erasing what we were, but from building upon it. Our strengths, our flaws, our histories, they're all part of what makes us unique. She squared her shoulders, her voice growing more passionate. I propose that we embrace the ancients' gift not as an end, but as a beginning. Let us use this knowledge, this power, to uplift not just ourselves, but all sentient life we encounter. Let us become guardians of the galaxy, nurturing young civilizations, and preserving the beautiful diversity of the cosmos. The room fell silent as her words sank in. Then, slowly, a chorus of agreement began to build. Humans and Lycians alike voiced their support for Arya's vision. A noble goal, A familiar voice resonated throughout the ship. The shimmering form of the ancient appeared in the center of the conference room, and one that aligns with our own. You have chosen wisely, young ones. The ancient's form began to glow brighter. The path ahead will not be easy. The power we offer comes with great responsibility, but we believe you are ready to join us as stewards of life in this galaxy. Energy cascaded from the ancient, enveloping everyone present. Arya felt a tingling sensation throughout her body, a sense of expansion beyond physical limits. Knowledge flooded her mind, the secrets of the universe unfolding before her inner eye. As the transformation took hold, Arya realized she could sense every member of her crew, every Lysian in the fleet. Their thoughts, fears, and hopes mingled with her own. Yet, somehow, she remained distinctly herself, her human drive to explore and protect burning brighter than ever. When the light faded, the conference room had changed. The beings within it were no longer purely physical, their forms shimmering with barely contained energy. Yet their eyes, human and Lysian alike, still shone with the same determination and wonder that had brought them to this point. Arya looked down at her hands, marveling at the play of energy beneath her translucent skin. She could feel the vastness of space calling to her, countless worlds waiting to be discovered and nurtured. "What now, Captain?" Zara's mental voice was filled with excitement and a touch of nervousness. Arya smiled, feeling the weight of her new role as a guardian of life in the galaxy. "Now, my friend, we truly begin our mission. To explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one, human, Lysian or ancient, has gone before." As the newly transformed fleet prepared to depart, Arya felt a sense of profound rightness. The journey ahead was vast and unknowable, filled with challenges they couldn't begin to imagine, but they would face it together, humans and Lysians, united in their shared future among the stars. The Horizon's engines hummed to life, pulsing with newfound energy. With a thought, Arya set a course for the unknown reaches of the galaxy. As stars streaked past the viewscreen, she knew that the greatest adventure in the history of both their species was only just beginning. And somewhere, in the vast cosmic tapestry, the ancients watched with pride as their children took their first steps towards a destiny greater than any single race could achieve alone. The end was just the beginning.